evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on folks. Man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bottom Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we just got one more day to start the weekend. Yo. I know it's been kind of rough this earliest week. Some people, it's depending where you're at, it's been kind of cold, ice, snow like that, Me, I'm here in the South. We don't get too much of that. We do get some ice every now and then, but not too often snow. If it doesn't last too long. So, folks, I enjoy doing these interviews. And this is, I got one more in the hole for the finish off this month. January, like I said again, we're already into a whole month into the new year. And this lady here was about a few weeks ago turned pro at the national championships. We have the lovely Mrs. Shakelle, Shakelle O'Neal. And she is a brand new pro, like how you get new pros fresh and way off the line. I feel like the guy that you ever saw that the episode of the Boondocks says, "I likes you and I want you. We can do this easy way or the hard way. The chance is yes." So we're gonna have a little fun with her. We're gonna talk to her, share her story, and what are her plans now. She's now stepping into the IFBB. So welcome, ma'am, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me on today. Yeah. Excited.
I'm very excited too. Recently, she did an interview with my man Glenn from the Amazon Fitness podcast. As you know, he runs his own magazine. He's right here in my home state of North Carolina. It was a pretty good interview. This lady has a great story about herself. So, ma'am, this is the first question to ask you. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
So kind of got me started was back in college, when that freshman 15 thing that you was always scared of. I gained it. And so when I went back home that sophomore year, I really just started picking up exercising. ESPN, Kiana Fitness used to be on. What else is that? I had like a set of dumbbells and I would just watch those shows and do my workouts on TV, make something up, go walking around the neighborhood and try to get that weight off, cut back on some foods. And I want to say, this is like 1994, maybe. I think I saw Linda Murray on a magazine or on TV or something like that. I'm not sure. And she was what sparked my interest in being like, I want to have muscles. I want to look like that. Black woman with muscles. That was just pretty hot. So I want to kind of look like that. So that's really what kind of sparked me into really getting into the fitness and aspect and bodybuilding. I was an athlete already, but really get into weight training and body sculpting and things of that nature, personal training. That's how that got started. And did that all throughout college. When I moved, I did beauty pageants in college. So my little routine was fitness. I didn't have no other talent. So I would do fitness routines for my beauty pageants. I actually was the reigning Miss Black Texas. Miss Black Oklahoma. And then I did the Miss Black USA pageant, did that in college. And then when I moved to Texas, after I graduated, I had my son, moved to Texas. I was trying to find something to get into. And they were like, "Oh, you're too big to model. Tried out for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. That wasn't a thing for me." And so someone told me about bodybuilding. And so I kind of started doing that. And I did that from, I want to say like 2004 to about 2010. And I was just doing it for fun. I didn't really understand it that much. So once I tore my ACL 3 times and I had to, start lifing, couldn't really do it no more. Then I just decided to lay off of it for a while, and I picked it back up in 2018. And that's when I really kind of took it seriously, back in 2018. So I was really focused and had gained a bunch of weight. And I'm like, okay, let's have a goal other than just to lose the weight. Let's have a goal. And once I kind of saw my potential, that's when I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and shoot for this pro card. That's the big thing there. So, yep. It's been a pretty much a lifestyle, honestly, for me. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. Growing up, I used to watch some of the shows, but I wasn't working out. I was watching because, so, especially a young man when you're at that age, you just, not much on television, and one of my crimes, ma'am, I hate to admit this, my crime is I am a muscle Paris smell. Y'all ladies excite me. And I remember Linda Murray. I wasn't a big Linda Murray fan. I was a bigger fan of Vicky Gates, Laura Crevel, especially back in those times. Those women were very amazing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I actually remember I got to see Linda was a couple years ago when I went to my first vitamin show with Savannah. Still, this woman's in her 60s, still looks good. I mean,
It
she
looks
still,
good.
I mean, she's phenomenal. So
Yeah.
and you said you had your son, and that was how you were pretty. You feel like you must have been a teenager when you had you, boy. Huh.
Nah. My son's 27. He'll about to be 28. I just turned 50. I'll be 51 in February.
Well, ma'am, I would just turn 51 back in November. I'll be 52 this year. This is somebody in
Okay.
my age range. But you know what? She's a pretty woman her age. I mean, wow, I'm just so excited. Just I just want to see. I just want to be cool. I just want to be cool. Yeah. And the thing is that a lot of women have different stories why they got into this sport. Be it just going overweight, being come from an athletic background. Some ladies have told me because dealing with abuse or just things in life. Bodybuilding, even though it's a very extreme sport, it's a
Mm-hmm.
sport that really drives people's passions.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think too, once you start seeing that change, like the thing is like, 15, 20 years ago, obviously, you know, as you get older, your body changes, right? Your set point and your weight changes. You're not you come from once you're not going to really have a set point body weight at 140 pounds. Your body's like, no, I'm comfortable at 150, 160, things like that, or whatever. And so I had to change my mindset. I'm not going to look like I looked 10, 15 years ago. The goal is obviously look better because I didn't do too well back then. Like I said, I was doing it for a hobby. I wasn't really serious about it. And I was always getting last call outs, always. But I still kept doing it, because I had fun doing it. But once I picked that up in 2018, it was more of a drive to like, okay, one, no one's gonna hire a fat trainer. Two, this is for me to get, I wasn't comfortable in my skin at that weight. So this kind of drove me to change my body. And then having my degree in kinesiology, exercise phys, me applying those things to kind of see how the body changed was really fascinating to me. So as my body changed, my mindset changed like, oh, let's push a little bit more. Let's push a little bit more and let's see what we can do. And I had my people, that are like, oh, not necessarily I want my body to look like that, but I'm like, I want to be that muscular. I want to be that much definition. And so, each season, each prep was different and it got better, until we got to where we are now. So that was a driving force. I'm like, if we keep getting better this time, let's keep getting better, you know, and see what we can do.
Yeah,
So,
because it's a process. And the thing is, I heard people say trust
mm-hmm.
this process. But here's the thing is, once you understand the process, then you can trust it. There's so many
Yeah.
factors of it. The everyday people look at bodybuilding, especially even if you're not like as big as someone like some of the ladies in the sport. Like you look at some people like Andrea, Ashley Jones, several other ladies that compete in the divisions, and everybody's always going to point that one issue about it is because of use of performance enhancers. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that's part of rest and recovery, and it's part of how you help you. Like it takes a lot of time, especially with us who are older. I can understand that because I'm in my 50s. I have a pacemaker. I have two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have other things because of years of working and doing this. I mean, I used to hold two jobs when I was younger, and also kinesiology. I studied that. I went to Millamont for a little bit.
Okay.
I had to drop out because my car broke down. I couldn't get back and forth. But yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was that first show like? What was that experience for you as a competitor?
Let's see. My first show was the City Limits, and again, it was just getting my feet in the water. I knew that I wasn't gonna win, right? But my trainer at the time, he had helped me lose like a lot of weight. He really got me into the shape. And I think I actually did two cat. I did wellness and figure because we couldn't really figure out where I would lay at. I was kind of like a morph, I'm like, okay, you got the figure upper body, but you could really do wellness too on your lower body. So we don't really know where your body's going to change at. And I was still not in 100%, not even 100% now, but I wasn't pristine enough to where I could take first, but it allowed me to see where I could go. And it was a big, big change for me from, because I started training right around COVID. So 2018, I decided to train. I started lifting weights, getting in shape. And then COVID happened in 2019, 20. I couldn't work out. So we were stuck at home. So I ended up buying like all this stuff, a bike, a box, medicine balls, bands. I started buying all stuff at home, and I had to train at home until I actually got back into the gym. So that wasn't an excuse because I still tried to stay on the regimen. But once we got back into the gym, it was more or less like, okay, let's set a show. Let's just see how we're gonna do. I mean, this was totally different than what it was 10 15 years ago. The whole water depleting and the diet. And I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't 100% all the way on my diet. But like I said, it was just getting my feet in the water to get me back acclimated to how I was going to do it. And then after that, we're like, okay, let's see how we do, get the judges' feedback. Then we go back to the drawing table and we see what we can do next, But I wouldn't, once I get on stage, I'm good. It's like showtime. Let's go. So I wasn't nervous or nothing like about that. I was more nervous about my body not being 100% where I wanted it to be, or better than what it wanted to be. So.
Yeah, it was a tough time between 2020 to 2022. One was it COVID really hit my family hardest because my mother, she had got it and then she passed away. I took care of her for a good while. Yeah, she was my woman, I say it like that. And I took care of her. She took care of me while I was going through my stuff. And I know a lot of competitors had to really change their plans. Gyms were shut down.
Yeah.
A lot of competitors were either working out. Some if you're lucky enough and knew somebody who had a gym, they can go in and work out privately. But that's the thing it's about when you get to this life, it's about not making excuses, but making decisions that really benefit you. And you mentioned your coach, and who's your coach right now? If anybody needs to know.
My coach now is Miss Ashley Jones, number 2 women's bodybuilder in the world.
Number 2.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
For now.
She is, because I got the pleasure of meeting her coach. If anybody knows, I always put it that. I know I look like fat bastard. I said I'm about to eat the baby. So, and she even shouted me out on my channel right after she won her pro card. She shouted me out. I appreciate that. She's a lovely lady, and she's awesome. She's really been evolving. I mean, when she first started, she was doing figure like yourself.
Right.
Then she switched up the physique for a couple of years, and we saw that really that process where she was leaning towards wearing bodybuilding.
Yeah. That's when I saw her when she was women's physique. And I was like, man, who is that? Then I started following her. And then I want to say maybe a year after that, I could tell she was transitioning to women's bodybuilding. And so then I obviously was following her already, but then, she did her first show as a women's bodybuilding debut. And then the second time, she took that year off, and I was like, wow. And that's when I jumped on the team.
That's good. I know she's, actually, like I said, again, she was there while I was at Tampa. One of her clients was also one of your teammates. Amanda Griffith was making her debut in Tampa. Yeah, I got I didn't get to meet her, but I did meet Ashley. And, that's the thing. It's good to have that coach, especially I think, I've discussed you ladies, like, you think a coach, we prefer as a woman a coach that's a man or a woman, because where a woman understands more of the genetics and also of the whole woman's cycle and body compared to a man.
Yeah. Well, my first coach was a guy. Even back when I first started, in 2004, my son's father was my coach, and I had another coach back then too. But when I got back on board, I had a guy coach. I had 2 guy coaches actually. But then this time around, I needed, as my body changed, hit that perimenopause stage, my body started changing big time. The coach I had before Ashley was a guy, and I'm like, hey, we left on, good terms, but I was like, I need to work with someone that understands the female body. I'm going through these changes, and I need a woman to kind of understand what I got going on, get my blood work. And I was working with my gynecologist doctor, and then working with Ashley to kind of help us, get these levels and these hormones balanced out, because my body was like all crazy, when it came to the hormones, and like perimenopause was like running rampant. And I'm like, okay, we got to get this under control. So he understood that, because he knew that, hey, you do need someone to help you take the next level. But in order to get that done, they got to understand, what's going on with you. And obviously, being a woman, she understood that. And then me working with my doctor and us 3 working together, it really came together big time. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's good, because I think men and women, we're the same species, but we're different breed of species, because men, this is how the great Conan the Barbarian, In our life, is purpose of life is to defeat your enemies, see them doing it for you, and hear the lamentation of the women. Women, y'all are caretakers. Y'all, take care of the home and our children, have our babies. You go through
Yeah.
certain things that we don't go through because our body's not made for that. And especially
Yeah.
when it comes to the issue of muscle development, it's a big difference between men and women. Always going to be that. Especially in your division figure where have you paid attention how some of the women now how like I interviewed a lady a while back, Tamika Tucker. She also did the same thing. She did nationals a couple years ago. She was doing both wellness and figure. She got a
Figure.
pro card in figure. And
Right.
you see as the division now has evolved over time, like
Man,
you know,
yes. It didn't look nothing like it did 15 years. We wore two suits back then. And the girls, like, someone was saying that, I forgot who said something like Linda Murray looked like what women's physique look like now, or something like that back then. Because yes, it's morphed, but even figure girls look well, a lot smaller than what they are now. And like I said, we had two suits back then, a one piece and a two piece back when I was competing. But now just the size and compared to being on an amateur level, where they don't want you to look like you're a pro, but they want you to look like a pro, but they don't want you to look like a pro, so you can't really be too big, kind of teeter in the middle, so that way you can kind of grow into the sport. That's what I learned. And then now I'm like, okay, I feel like, I might can hold my own a little bit, as a newbie into the IFBB world. But compared to some of these girls, I'm like, I need to grow a little bit, but I don't want to go too much where I bump myself up into women's physique either. So, but yeah, it's definitely has changed as far as the women, getting bigger or more muscular, and it's obviously a different playing field here on the pro level than it is on the amateur level too. So
yeah. You look at I think a lot of competitors, especially when you talk about, especially when women get their person, they use the blueprint for them in the bodybuilding was like someone like Dalen Bailey. You mentioned Linda Murray. Look at Iris Kyle. Now you look at
mm-hmm.
the current champ, and I'm a big fan of hers because she's the one who kind of changed bodybuilding, especially for women. And that is, I can't help but talk about her. That's Andrea Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a fan of hers. She's just amazing because she brought a
It is
new
amazing.
level. I think she really right now women's bodybuilding is under siege again. There's some stuff going on now. I have fewer shows. Shout out
Yeah.
to Anastasia Ryder. She's doing a GoFundMe, try to get some shows added on to the schedule. But this is
Mm-hmm.
something what really I often say like this. The something that really what amazed me about the champ was a while back. My friend Eunice, she runs a company on Bad Rep. She's out of Texas also, and she was there because one of her she had a lady was sponsoring. This is the issue of muscle development. And Eunice said to me just a little bit after my 50th birthday, and what makes it so special about this, and like especially with people like your coach and people like the champ, when they tell me, they thank me for what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
and they
That's
appreciate my
awesome.
work. I got it, like I said, this is my reward. This is like as my other guy would say, if you get something, never do for free, and that's my payment. So, folks, well, we got here comments here. A couple of people in the chat right now. We have my man DJ. He's right here. He says, "Hey, love your hat," and
Thank you.
also he says there was a picture of you with a top hat. So I think
Top hat?
maybe think about somebody else.
What kind of top hat?
Yeah.
Uh,
Like a
this
top hat.
one?
Like no, not like a top hat. Like you like hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my son, like
Uh,
that.
there might have been. It might have been a like a what they call a bolero. Like a brim hat. I think that
Fedora, something like
Bador or
that.
something like that. I think I had a picture of that with me on one of my pages or something like that. Yeah.
I think he said it like this. I think he said, it was you in purple. I think it's that hat I got in my
In
IG I
the
posted.
video. Yeah.
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 Well, folks, if you want to do this, we're going to jump to her social media for a bit. If you want to follow her link's in the description. You want to check her out, you want to reach out. But guys, and it's no offense to you, uh, Shakelle, I tell you guys out there, this is a nice lady. She's a lovely lady. She's a mature lady of muscle. And, it's nice to have these ladies on here because they're a lot more comfortable to talk. But guys, don't be that weird guy. Know the weird stuff. Stop
No,
it. She got a grown son. I don't want to be hearing some boys saying, I gotta fight for my mama's love. We boys, I love my mama. She was my woman.
My
because I
son,
was
same
like,
way.
yeah. See, like I grew with there was like six of us. I had three older sisters. There was me and my older brother, my younger brother, and I was a middle son. So as a middle kid, we had to fight for our love. So that's out here sometimes. So folks, we can jump to social media, you know my stories and how I say follow her and reach out with interest. So here she is, and this is where you were at nationals. And what was that feeling like when they told you now you're IB Pro?
Man, I I I wanted to cry, but I didn't want to mess up my makeup. But I wasn't sure, but I was so grateful. So grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, here she is between the top three ladies in the Olympia. That's Jessica Reyes Padilla, the new
And
Miss Olympia fitness figure champion, Rhea Gale.
yeah, and that was
Be
the battle, I
Yeah, it was the battle, and this was recent.
think.
And because you did this, because I know the battle said that if you win the overall, they pay for your way for the nationals.
Nationals. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, here
There's
she is
me and
with
Ashley, my
yeah.
teammate.
Yeah, who's her? I mean, who is
That's
her? Yeah,
Chantel. My teammate, we both did the battle that day.
yeah,
I had to go up
Chantel.
against my teammate. The crazy part is we did a show 4 weeks prior to that. Me and Chantel, we competed in the oh gosh, the galvanized San Marcos.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it's good. Y'all have good friendly rivalry. You're both teammates, and you're under the
Yeah.
same coach. Like what was the critique from the judges after the show? Especially, you look pretty good in this picture right here.
Pretty much just feeling my glutes. So I think attributed to me losing a lot of weight throughout the course, dropping weight. They were just saying when I posed, my glutes were not, you didn't see any lines. But when I moved, you could see lines. Sandy just told me to fill my glutes in more, but she loved my physique, loved the package, and she just wanted me to fill in the glutes a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, that's easy to fix.
Yeah, Sandy Williamson is one of the top judges. She often judges
Yep.
like the Rise of Phoenix, the Olympia. Training is very important, especially as a developer you grow. Now you're into the Ivy Pro level. What do you feel like the thing is you need to work on the most other than your glutes? Because I think everything else looks pretty good. Maybe just my standpoint.
I definitely want to grow my legs a little bit more. That's something me and Ashley talked about. Getting my quad sweep a little bit more developed, my hamstrings a little bit more developed. My upper body is so easy to train. I don't really have to do too much to get that to be big or to grow. It's just more or less my lower half, just kind of not necessarily balancing it out, but definitely getting my quads to grow a little bit more. I have a really bad right knee. It needs to be replaced, but we're pushing that off right now. So I just kind of push myself to my limits, and so I just really just training my body to where I can get my quads to grow a little bit more fullness in my quads, pretty much.
Yeah, I understand with the knee issue. My knees is arthritis because I've been a big guy plus genetics. Especially when you get
Mhm.
older, it can be a lot. Have to carry a lot of weight because at one point, while I was taking my mom, I was almost at 500 pounds.
Oh my
And
gosh,
yeah, because if you ever knew anybody who like a family member that's been sick, and it can be a lot of stress on you. But
very
then
much so.
yeah, after she was gone, I said it was time for me to take care of myself.
Yeah,
And then I'm at 416.
yeah.
It's a time because yeah, it's time. Understand losing weight, the diet. And the thing is, temptation of food. That's the thing about like when you're on your prep. Does Ashley give you refeeds and let you have whatever you feel like is comfort for you to eat?
No, no, no. The way my body works, the last two. Now this time around, we didn't. Really, we might have had maybe one refeed, but the goal was really for me. Like when we first started, I was like 170, 180 going into prep. Um, this year it was not. I think I was 170 going into prep this year too, and we got down to about 135, 132 on stage, something around that way. But the goal was to really hone in at the beginning of prep and get down, cut and get to where we needed to be so we could cruise in towards the end, like get that body on point, 4 weeks or so out. So that way she can feed me going into the last, 4 to 6 weeks of the prep. And so that's what we did this time around. It really worked. But I think because we had already had a good 6 months of working together prior to this whole full year that we were training, she understood my body a little bit more, and we were able to have a little bit, not to say leniency, but I think I might have had 1 or 2 refeeds this time around in this prep. But the first prep, I might have had maybe 1 refeed, and that was maybe early on in the prep. But after that, I had to suffer a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the thing is,
Learn from that.
it's about finding the right things and helping your process as you grow, as you develop as an athlete. It's
Right. There's
about
Amanda.
yeah, it's about the right diet, training. As you are with Rhea Gale right there. You know,
Hmm.
it's a feeling. You know, because you got to think about it, you've been doing this for a long time. You're
Right.
a woman of a much mature age, and you're competing with women who may be 20 years, 15 years younger than you, and still
My
maintaining
gosh.
your
Yes.
own. Here she is right here.
Open overall champion to our women, competitor 213. Let's go, baby! Let's go!
We hear your coach in the background.
That is my coach in the background. Yes, sir.
She's proud.
Yes,
She's
sir.
proud of her. She's doing pretty good work. There's a lot of ladies
It
she's
is
working
great
with.
work. Yes.
You know, and also trying to be both a top 2 Olympian at the same
Yeah.
time. I mean, you got to give respect. Like I said, I think she's a lovely lady. You know, and
Hmm.
and it's good to find. Here's this. Is this your boyfriend? So
That's what people be asking me when we out in public sometimes.
yeah.
Yep.
I know he's proud of his mama. You know,
He is
because like
very proud.
again,
Yes.
as a son, we love our mothers. You're the first woman in our lives. Here's a nice video here. She's like, she got a boxing glove on. Hey, can I have a shot at the title, champ?
That's my little
Yeah,
boxing preview here.
yeah. I don't know. I be DQ for excessive holding. Again, man, I have to
Separate,
maintain.
separate.
Yeah, I said no, 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 no. I'll be digging my head in your chest. So I can't. I gotta admit you, man. I ain't up hurt. So we got here some comments. Shout out to here my man KL the Wonder coming through. He says this. He says, "How long you been competing?" Well, she's been competing at least about how long?
So originally started like in 2004. I stopped around 2010 after I had my second knee surgery. Then I picked it back up in 2018, and
Yeah.
ever since then.
He says, comment, he says, good evening. So yeah, good evening to you, brother. He said like this. You know, when I get yeah, I like this. I like the episode of I always like to talk about this. The episode where a Shakelle show with the True Hollywood Stories with Charlie Murphy when they go out and they meet Prince. He's hanging out and Prince has this guy Nikki Free. You're Nikki Free. You're like, yo, Joey got a new girl. She's fine as a motherfucker. So, yeah. But yeah, that's a good thing that you have your coach, you have your family, your friends. As a woman in the sport, what do you feel about how people judge, especially because you're not as big as like someone like Ashley or Andrea or some of the other ladies.
Right.
You're a moderate size, but still, people look at women with muscle like you're like some kind of weirdo. Like I have guys who make comments like when I post stuff on my social media, I have guys make comments saying, "Hey, that's you trying to be a man or something? You're trying to be yeah." And dude, right now this woman's a very beautiful woman. I don't see anything manly about it. I'm a man. I got boobs more than bigger than women. So what the heck?
I don't. I don't get. I haven't got a lot of pretty much any negative feedback. Like I said, I think I tried. I'm a little bit more feminine, not as big. As some of the women bodybuilders, nothing like that. But I have got comments like, why are you doing it? Why do you want to have all those muscles? Or we like you better when you were bigger, when I was heavier, without the muscles, or you're too muscular, too small, things of that nature. I've gotten those comments, but at the end of the day, it's really what makes me happy, what my preference is. And like I said, I feel like me being an inspiration to other women, me being my age, number one, but number two, I had to work for this. You know what I'm saying? I've had all weight. I've been 120 pounds. I've been 150 pounds. I've been 210 pounds. I've been 170 pounds. I've been pregnant. So I've fluctuated and I've had to work to get to where I was, where I'm at now. it wasn't easy. You know, I had to actually incorporate healthy eating, lifestyle changes, movement, weightlifting. I had to incorporate all stress, sleep. My body reacts very well to rest. You know, we figured that out the last couple of years. So I've had to really implement all those factors in to kind of help me get to where I was at. They can't be like, oh, well, you were already thick, or oh, you were already small and you were able to get. No, I've been skinny, I've been fat, I've been pregnant, I've been all that. I've been overweight. So I've had to really work to get to where I want to be in this deal. So I don't really, guys can say what they want to say, women can say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that I attained the goals that I was shooting for, and I still am working towards those goals because that's my lifestyle that I choose to live, and it's not for everybody. I tell them, they say, oh, we want to, no, it might look pretty on the outside, but you got to understand the work that it takes to get here. And most people don't want that work. So, even if we were the Ashleys or the Andreas, it takes work to get like that. Even women, I get this a lot. Oh, I don't want to lift weights. I want to get big. Girlfriend, you're not. You're not gonna. You're not gonna get like me. You're not gonna get like Ash. You're not gonna get like Andy. You're not gonna get like that because that's a whole different playing field. First of all, we got to get together, get your lifestyle together, get your eating together, get your cardio together, and let's work on that first. And then if you want to tap into our world or this world, then there's, then you can get that big or get that muscular, but you starting off, you're not going to do that. And I tell people, weight training is good for you. It's good for your posture, good for growth, good for weight loss, all that. So as we get older, especially women, throw some weight around because that's the only way you're going to shape up is if you don't, you got to pick some weight up. So
it's good. It's good for bone density because especially
bone density. Yes.
You don't want to avoid osteoporosis, which it happens quite often when you get older, when your bones are brittle.
Yep.
I think people still have that mindset of if I lift these like 10 pounds, I'm going to be like, I don't know,
She-Ra.
I'm going to be She-Ra. I'm going to be like China from the WWE. No. If you don't train, diet, be consistent, be persistent. Also make those choices where you have to be disciplined because that's one thing is that you got to make choices where what I don't want to do this, but I want to do that, and it's an investment to your life, your health. There's so many factors to it. Here's I got a comment here from my man KL. He's an ass. He says, he says, do you watch basketball, Shaq?
I do not watch basketball. I am not a basketball fan.
He says,
but
it'd be cool if you break the rim. LOL. Yeah, he's ass. Yeah. What are you about to say? Yeah.
I said I've met Shaq, but I'm not a basketball fan. I'm not even good at basketball. So
I can tell you, I'm not good at basketball either. I'm like 5'7". I played football when I was younger. That's one thing. I'm a country boy. We used to just run around playing. We had our fun. We played a little baseball and that. But we went for a house, and that's how it is. You grow up in a family with boys. We know how we act and behave.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, everybody finds something about the sport that really draws them to them. The health aspects, the training, the dieting, and then also the understanding that sometimes it can really be a thing with your life. Like I know ladies who tell me that sometimes friends and relationships have changed when you get into sport because it's so extreme. Like family can be kind of not very much into it, especially I've had ladies conversation. Yeah, because what you're doing, you're changing your aspect of what is considered a woman, what's considered feminine. When you're putting on muscle, and but this is something you found for yourself. And you said again, it's not for everybody.
Right. And that's one thing I had to really like. Even this last year and this year, I had I got sick this year, but last year I didn't go home for Thanksgiving because the show was a week away, so I had to isolate myself, and not because I didn't want that temptation, but then at that time I really had to. It was a week before the show, so I really had to really like zone out and really focus on what needed to be done for the week prior. And this year, I ended up getting a little sick. My son got sick and I got sick, so we didn't go to home for Thanksgiving for our family reunion. I think we had a show prior to that, and then I had to really just buckle down. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to make it, but I had 2 shows back to back, well, at least one, and the goal was to win that show and get to nationals. So I really had to be in my element and not have those distractions too. So it kind of worked out good that way because I was home, but family not understanding my whys. Even getting when I was bulking last year, I had a couple families like, man, you getting a little big, ain't you? Or you put on some weight, ain't you? And I'm like, well, yeah, that's part of the process. Got to put on a little weight, put on a little muscle, or what you eating like that for, things like that. So they're not understanding, but I just explained to them what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And my family understands, they respect it. They appreciate, for the most part, they understand what I have going on. And so when I did go home and I had my bowls or I had my meals, they were always, questioning my whys. But then that's a good time for me to educate, so on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and how that works. So, but
Yeah.
I had a good support system.
That's why I do these interviews, because I really to get people be informed and educated about bodybuilding. Understand it's not just about popping spills and look like I'm Arnold and I'm just like get to the chopper.
Yeah,
There's more to it because, like I said,
so much more to it.
yeah,
So much more to it.
the diet, the education, the discipline, it's not for everybody. Also, the mental aspects of it, because I know I've talked to
Mental.
ladies, yeah, because this sport can be mental, physical, emotionally, financially draining. It can take a lot out of any human being.
Any man, this I posted on my story. I just posted here that I think like in September I really had to like lock in. And I'm like, okay, God, I got this, I got this, and I don't want to stress about it. Don't want any stresses in my life as much, you know. But I need your help. And he's like, you just gotta trust me. Got to do this, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that. Like, no, I got you. So I did. I locked in. I don't want to say I isolated myself, but I was really locked in. It was work, gym, check-ins, food, and didn't socialize as much. I pretty much was that was my routine. That was my routine, and so mentally I had to check myself so that way I can lock into what I need to get done. And that meant like, you know, no excuses on why you can't do this. Get up and go to work, get to the gym, get your meals in, meal prep, all that stuff. And I really kind of stayed on track and really drove towards what needed to be done so that I can attain that overall goal was to get my pro card. So mentally, yes, was I lonely? Didn't want to be with my friends. I had to tell people no. People didn't understand why I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Then I'm at work and they bring in food and treats, and I had to like, oh my God, so I couldn't have that, go out. If I did go out to eat, I have my food with me, stuff like that. So that was really hard. You lose friends, you lose, relationships, things of that nature. But it's like, okay, but I had to, this is what I needed to do to get done. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want a lot of distractions. I wanted to really see if I could bog down and do what I needed to do to get to where I had to get to. And,
Yeah,
it all came out obviously, it all came out on the good
yeah.
end. So,
That's the thing. I won't say if the sacrifices, the
sacrifice.
investments become, they're more investments becoming what you are now. You are IFB Pro, and there's so few people that get that opportunity. I know ladies who took years for to
Yeah.
get their pro cards. I know a couple of ladies who just competed in nationals. They just, after a couple of years, some time off, and they finally got with one young lady. She just got a pro card, and this was her debut first year. She looked very
Mm,
impressive. It's about understanding what you want to put in you, invest in yourself as a person as you grow, the work you want to
yeah.
put in. I understand about, and for me, sometimes it's been a long time since I touched a lady. So, it can't get a little lonely, but that's the thing is that your goals are very important. You never know. Somebody might come in life when you need them, when they're ready for you, and when you wait for them.
Right.
We have here some comments here from my man. Shout out to my man KL. He's been sickly. He says, do you think you are huge for a bodybuilder?
No, no, I think I'm a pretty good size. Like I said before, I might have to put on to compete with these girls in the IFBB Pro for the figure girls. I might have to put on a little bit more size, but I would like to get a little bit more full in certain areas. Like I said, my legs, feel my glutes in a little bit more. I think my shoulders could be a little bit more me a little bigger, but we let Ashley be the judge on that when it comes to getting ready to cut, and then seeing what comparing myself to what the size of the women are on the pro side, pro league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
He has also another comment. He says this. Shout out to him. He says, "I can't believe people look at just picking up weights and think they are going to be huge instantly. No, because it's a process."
Right.
Also,
he has another
it's a process. He also has another comment. Um, he says, just give me a second. My computer's kind of slow sometimes. It's coming up. Come on, you. So let's say, what's your favorite workout?
My favorite workout is back. I like working back and shoulders. So anything dealing with back. I love upper body. I feel strong. If I can get up and do some pull-ups, or if I can pull some heavy weight. If my knees were better, I probably would say lower, but my knees, are not the best. So it's really lower body is a struggle for me. But I love working out in general altogether, but I definitely love lifting weights, but I love lifting heavy. So if I can lift some heavy weight or yank some heavy weight, that's me, challenging myself to do that. But I like upper body, mostly back. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think especially in the figure division, you want that nice round capness to your shoulder,
Right.
that nice taper, the width of the back. You want the nice. You should talk about the nice quad sweep. You don't want to be too big. You don't want to look too much close to
Right.
like women's physique. And again,
Right.
I'm seeing women right now in figure that should be doing physique. I'm seeing right now. There's one lady I just made a comment. She posted. Somebody posted some pictures of her. She's she was at Tampa. Megan St. Barbara. She was the one who took second to Zama at the women's physique. Yeah, and and she let's say right now she's like over 200 pounds right now.
That one post you took. Yeah, off season, her bulk season.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
She commented to my comment, and I said, again, ma'am, that's too much for just doing physique.
Was it physique or was it figure? Was she figure or physique?
Physique.
Oh, she's physique?
Physique. I mean, I know this is where right now they cut out some shows for women's bodybuilding. They're not going to be at Tampa. They're not be in Chicago. And the thing is, I'm like this. As an athlete, as you grow and develop, in your process, I think it's a smart idea to say, maybe I should really as like you were doing figure and doing wellness.
Yeah.
And you found figure worked for you. But again, I think a lot of ladies will use the excuse that they don't want to get too big. But this is why I say that the lines get so blurred.
Yeah. The lines. You got to grow into those things too. You know what I'm saying? Like even with wellness, I couldn't. That means if I had to do wellness, that means not saying I couldn't do it, but that means I couldn't lift upper body, and I'd strictly be lower body. And I'm like, my knees are not that strong to withstand pushing that much weight to grow like that. So I know that it's not going to fit for me, and I would just die if I couldn't lift upper body. I don't know if I could do that. So then you just got to kind of grow into your category more or less and find what works where you fall into play and you go from there. I think I was listening to one chick, pro lady, where she's doing fit model, and she said, she was bikini pro, and she was just saying the same thing. She, they were telling her she needed to grow and get bigger or do this and that to really, because she was tiny, but to get a little bit bigger to compete with she's pro already, but she didn't do as well as a pro. But she was saying naturally she could not get like what they wanted. So she fell better. She fell more into the fit model category because she's naturally tiny, with the muscularity and things like that. And I could understand where she's coming from. Because like, okay, you can't force yourself, or if you're not doing as well, and maybe you go down. Same thing with women in women's physique. Sometimes I've seen women's physique women that may not do as well in women's physique. So they'll dumb it down a little bit, tone it down a little bit, lose a little muscle mass, and then they'll, do well in women's figure. I've seen that too. So
yeah. My stance on fit model, excuse me.
I'm sorry. I know.
I have nothing against. I interviewed a young lady who I met was in Tampa. She just got a pro card also at fit model. She's a nice lady. I have nothing against her. I feel like this is the vision is going to end up evolving, end up looking like what bikini looks like now. It's not going to happen like how long took a bikini get this level, because I'm seeing bikini girls who are just as ripped and shredded, who could go figure. I'm seeing, it doesn't take long because the practices, the training has evolved and changed over the years. Yeah. We have your comment. Shout to my man, my brother X823 coming to. He says, "Hello, brother George and Queen Shakelle. Thank you, brother, for coming through." Also, this is from my man KL. He says, "It's sexy that you bring your own food." I tell you, these guys, they don't, they just, because they get
only during prep. Only during prep.
Yeah, also he says this. He says, shout out to my man KL. He says, "Do you count your food on your meals?"
Do I count my food? I don't count macros or anything like that. Ashley pretty much makes my meal plan for me. She kind of calibrates that based off my check-ins and whatnot and how I'm doing as far as how my weight's fluctuating. And I just weigh my food out, and I keep a scale at work. I keep a scale at home. And so when I do prep my meals, I'll prep bulk and I'll keep them at home for those the day meals, and I'll just weigh those out as I go. And at home, I have my afternoon meals or my pre-workout meals, because I work out in the evenings, and I'll have that there. So I just try to keep balance so that way I don't have any excuses. You know what I mean? So that's the only way I weigh out my food, is what she puts down what I should be eating.
Mm-hmm. And Ashley does everything from posing to nutrition. She does comforts everything when it comes to your training.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. We do weekly check-ins. I train myself, but she works my workouts for me. Me being a trainer and having a background, she trusts me in that sense. But I do, send videos to her to kind of as far as like, this is what I'm doing. Asking her, critiquing my videos. What do you think about this, that, and the other? Especially at the very beginning, I had to send videos all the time, my workouts, not the whole workout, just like a few. But she knows that, she's confident with, what I'm doing. And so if I do something different, that's detouring from the workout, I will send it to her to critique me. Or if I'm not confident on something, hey, can you look at this? What should I be doing or whatnot? Or she'll be like, hey, stick to the plan. We're going to be progressive loading, this, that, and the other. But she writes my workouts for me. I do my own workouts. And she writes my meals out. And then I do check-ins every Friday. Check-ins in the morning.
Yeah, I know she's on her game. You got to respect her for that.
On her game. Very impressive.
How many clients? I think she had at least last year, counting yourself, maybe 3 or 4 clients that turned pro.
Last year.
Yeah.
She had last year. I think she had. I can't remember. So yes, because me and I can't say Lioness,
Amanda.
Lucy.
Yeah,
Amanda
Lioness,
was the year before.
Oh,
Amanda was the year before.
Okay.
2024. But me, Lucy, and I want to say there's another chick. I can't remember her name. I think I want to say she might have been women's physique or bodybuilding. There might have been 3 this year, off the top of my head, including me. But last year, I know for sure it was 3. Last year.
Yeah, I remember I remember mentioning the Lioness. I know Glenn interview. I think she's all the way somewhere other side of the world. I reached out to her about
she got hers like in.
I think was it Dubai?
October or October, November, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a comment from my man. Shout out to my man here. He says, "How often do you work on your posing, especially in those high heels? Is it hard, or was it difficult, or so much of a big deal?"
In my heels, I maybe once a week. But every time I lift, I practice my posing. So I'll spend 15 minutes after my workouts or after my cardio, and I go practice posing. I might not have my heels, but I'm just practicing my posing. If I see if I'm in the bathroom and I'm in the mirror, first in the morning, whatever, I'm practicing my posing. So that's a deal breaker. So whether I have my heels on or not, practicing, holding my conditioning, holding my core, practicing on my posture, things of that nature. We got to practice that the whole time, because that can make or break you when you get on the stage. So then it's second nature. When I get on stage now, it's like routine. You know what I'm saying? So when I walk out there, I'm doing the same thing like I'm doing when I'm doing my check-ins. It's just at that point it's routine.
Well, figure it's not much y'all can do. Y'all just got little turns, your little poses, and like this and that. And the high heel thing, I've tried quite a few ladies who were figure one point in which won't switch divisions to get tired of those high heels. They're like, take those clappers off. I mean, I had one
I'm a girly girl. You know, I need the heels. I don't think I could ever do women's physique or bodybuilding. One, I don't think I can do no routine, and I just don't want my feet on the floor and doing all the. I don't think I can remember those poses. Number one, I don't have the best feet. You know, trying to put my feet out there like that. You know, I'm an ex-track athlete, volleyball athlete, runner, so you know, don't have the best feet or whatever. I'm the first to tell you, but I love heels. So I like being dainty and cute. You know, and I feel very powerful when I'm in my heels and sexy in my heels. So that's where it's at. And I can walk in them. I can practice in them. You know, I can stand in them for a long period of time, especially when it comes to, you know, posing and whatnot. But yeah, the physique and the bodybuilding, that's what's going to get me right there. Not being in heels and trying to do those routines. Not me.
Like I said, it's up to where you want to feel like where you grow, how you possibly you comfortable with. And I think, again, figures your division if you're comfortable with. We got a comment, shout out to my man, XA. He says, my favorite workout is abs and chest, LOL. Also, we have here Dorian Hamer coming through. And Dorian says, caught the live. Thank you, Dorian, for catching us.
Thank you.
And also, she says, I admire figure. It's the best of both. Yeah, because, you know, you have that great muscle, but also that femininity. Yeah, and femininity too, because you look at it like you look at figure, you look at physique, you look at women's bodybuilding, you look at bikini and wellness, you look at fit mama. It's about finding those balances, especially as a woman.
It's the middle. It's the merge between you got your wellness and your figure and your because you got your top, your bottom, and then you got your bigger girls with your physique. It's the middle to me. You know, you got the symmetry that you're gonna get in physique and women's bodybuilding, but then you got your femininity more that you got in the other sports, the women's figure bikini and fit wellness. You got symmetry in it, you know. So that's why I like it. It from day one, I've always known, you know, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
And thing with y'all women is that, like you're like say you're a trainer, you're a coach. Also, you work as orthopedic specialist. What you got into that?
I've been in ortho since 2008. After I tore my ACL, the guy that came to help me with my recovery, he's the one that kind of sparked my interest. I'm like, oh, orthopedics, huh? And ever since then, I tried to find a job in it, and I've been stuck with it ever since. So I love the anatomy, human anatomy. I love bones. I love surgery. You know, so that's the closest thing I can get to. As far as without being a doctor or a PA. So, you know, got my hands in, you know, and the doctors need me. I'm a vital part, you know, of what they do. So orthopedics is where it's at for me.
Yeah, because that's the point, especially as a bodybuilder, because, you know, you need, you know, issues like I know between shoulder issues or injuries with the bones and strains the muscles. That's what I learned when I was studying, kinesiology, that you have to really pay attention to like the nerves and different things and this and that. Some stuff I've forgotten a long time ago because there's so much information. You think you're just touching people. I remember I was massaging some people and saying like, George, you got some good hands. Hey, that's pretty good. I'm working good for a while. But yeah, it's good that that's something you found. It also helps you as a process of bodybuilder. And you've been a trainer also. Well, you have, what kind of clients have? Are they a mix of lifestyle? You ever want to think about being like a coach, like you coach?
I do more coaching in a group setting. I don't do a lot of, I might have one or two individual people that I might train. But I with my schedule and prep, I work for Mint Fitness. And so I do more of the coaching aspect of it. And it's lifestyle coaching, more or less. But the structure of our classes is more biomechanic and kinesiology based. So it's not just your normal group exercise. It's a strategy behind the programming that's involved in those classes. So we have anyone from beginners to advanced. You know, we got people getting ready for, you know, running, you know, marathons, half marathons, and people doing like high rocks and, you know, those mud runs and stuff like that. So we train everybody, but my classes are catered towards all fitness levels and all ages too. So I've really found my niche in that, because I feel like I'm still training one-on-one because I'm focused on, my group, but it's still like weight training, So yeah.
Yeah. We have a comment from my man Kia. He's a hater. Yeah, he's saying like this. He's always saying junk to me. He says, you corny with that. What fit model to do you mini hook to you are to do is it that bad? It seems like it's not going anywhere. Well, brother, this is my shit. I built this. Me, brick by brick. I don't need another man telling me what I need to do with my shit. So you do yours, I do mine. You do me. All right, brother. So I'm here with talking to a beautiful woman. What you doing in the house? So he's a hater. I love him. He's my brother. I love him. He says this is George, message therapist. He said, "Nah, massage therapist. You need to work on your you need spell check, brother. So yeah, and the thing is that it's good to have that career, and also it helps to cover the cost because for y'all ladies, this is an expensive sport. As amateur, you have to pay entry fees. Then your cost, your suits, travel, food. You got to pay your coach. Hey, yeah. Are you a sponsored athlete?
Not yet. We will be. Not yet. I'm praying that some things come about down the pike. But not haven't sponsorships yet. But I do see possibly in the future that happening. I feel like my name, Shakelle O'Neal Shaq, somebody's gonna be like, oh my God, I like that. It's kind of catchy little marketing thing going on. So, but I'm open for sponsorships because it's definitely gonna need that support, going to the pro league. Thank God. I mean, thank God I take that back. I had one lady sponsor me for my suit this year. So Kitty Bikini, she did sponsor me for one of my suits. So that was pretty awesome. I think I did. That was from the Battle of Texas, the green suit, which I loved that suit. Hope to get to wear it again in my pro show. Just gotta, tweak a few things, but yeah. So I'm sure something will come down the line soon.
Well, I think you have a great personality, but I said great look to you, and also you are a beautiful woman. I think people will find that thing about social media. You have to be very popular, very active, And the thing is, this sport, again, with y'all women, there is so much to it. The guy, I say like this. Here's one side of it. The guys, they have their expenses. But again, all they got to do is put on a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts and tan. That's it. You ladies have to be presentable. You have to have muscular. You have to have muscularity and femininity. You have to have the weight suits. You have to have a look of where you have both. You look like this, chiseled goddess, but also just carry yourself in a way that really gets your attention. Where the judges say, you know what, she has good qualities. Let's show it to IFBB. Here you go, my man K. He's always talking shit. I think like he says, you need to work on reading. Reading fundamental. You need to learn to spell. So yeah, and that's the thing. This sport can be a lot, mentally, physically. I know competitors dealing with after show, like we talked about my channel before, like post show blues, losing those shreds where you're shredded, you're put together, you're all like there's an old saying as we smoke called when you ladies rock hard, we're rock hard, and and it's about the process as you grow as an athlete. Like, especially one thing is I'm being a big dude, and one thing I do like food. Like, especially you're Texas, y'all are the second biggest barbecue next to North Carolina. What was that thing? Share it with me. Yeah. What was the thing that we wanted the most, especially after that last show? Share it with me.
Honestly, I had the Oreo Reese's Pieces cookies. I had that ready to go, but I only ate one. I wanted my Tic Tacs. If everybody knows me, they know I love Tic Tacs. And I wanted pizza, but I never got my pizza. I still have not got my pizza. And I got my donuts. I got my donuts. I told my job that I was working. I said, I need y'all to get they know the donuts that I love. I said, I need those to be at the job when I come back. And they were there. So I got my donut. I got my donut fix. And I'm good. But yeah, I still ain't got my pizza yet. I have my Mexican food, but I hopefully Hope I can get some pizza soon.
Well, tell your boy to go get some pizza. Say, hey,
Look, I thought I was gonna get some pizza while we were snowed in. Everything was, closed up, so I didn't even get no pizza snowed in. So,
well,
yeah,
maybe tomorrow if you go out and just stop by a nice little pizza joint, have yourself a nice little slice, enjoy yourself. That's the thing. You
maybe
should
so.
always, food is both a tool and a weapon for a bodybuilder. You should enjoy the good stuff, but also be smart when you eat, especially
Exactly.
because it could be things that can hinder your growth or help your
Right.
growth.
Right.
Like how often you eat during the day?
How often? I eat about 5-6 meals a day, so about every 3 hours.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you
Um,
got to remember. That it's part of the food that you eat. Because sometimes it's not as it's very clean. It's very healthy. It's
yeah.
like chicken or broccoli. It's not going to be the stuff like everyday person like they like to have a cheeseburger or something like that.
Now
And
I eat the
because
same thing every day, just about.
yeah, and that's part of the consistency of bodybuilding. You might
Hmm.
change something every now and then, but you have to stick to that plan. Because as
That
my other
base.
guys sometimes, I don't have a plan. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I don't know what to do when I get one. So, Oh, yeah. And Shakelle, I want to tell you something before I leave you. You are beautiful. I'm sorry about him.
I knew he was gonna show up.
He can't live because you know what? He completes me. So as you say, now the plan is to grow your quads. You feel like you want to shoot maybe an early show this year before the year goes out, or you want to wait to the first of next year?
I don't know. I would like to do a show this year. Maybe towards after maybe start getting ready towards the summer. I don't know what Ashley wants to think. We'll talk about that. But I would love to do a show this year. I know there's a couple of shows and I can teeter totter as far as doing a regular open, and I can do masters. So masters pro. So we'll see within the next couple of weeks what she wants to do. How long? Right now we're just last year, honestly, I was in prep almost all year, kind of sort of, because I was supposed to do a show in June and July, and we pulled out. So then so that was in prep for the first half of the year, getting ready for June and July. And then I had to pull out that show. And so then we took a month or two off. And then I got ready, for the November, December fit for it. So we're really just trying to take some time to get my body to reset right now and not rushing into anything. Just really just get my blood work done and, going over all that stuff and get my eating habits, let my body kind of get back to homeostasis, getting back to normal levels. And then, we can kind of see within the next week or two, or a month or whatever, as we continue to grow, just keeping the same pattern, the same routine that we have been doing, then we kind of sit down and come up with a master plan. But I would like to try to do a pro debut this year. I don't think that I would be too far off in, doing one, but I kind of let her, once I sit and talk to her, let her see. And if not, we can always wait till the first of the year, but I would like to do one this year. I really would.
Well, we figure you got quite a few shows compared to women's bodybuilding. They lost a couple of shows here and there. I'm like I said, this is the vision where I got into this because I've been a fan of women's bodybuilding for a long time, and I really admire these ladies. The other divisions I really start paying more attention to, but that's what I think about. This is again, we say it's a process. It's about taking the time to rest because being long prep can be draining. No one can stay that stage lean year round because it's tough.
And I sure can't.
Because your skin's really thin. You can you feel like you're like walking, have needles pitching on you every other day.
Skin is dry. And you gotta recover financially too. I ain't got money growing on trees, so gotta be able to recover financially because you gotta kick that gear back in once it's time to get that back going again. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay in my recovery phase right now, my regrouping phase. I'm okay with it, not rushing getting back into it. So I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying the process right now because, like I said, last year was really heavy on focusing on getting that pro card. So we got it, and now just enjoying a little bit, not too much, but and then get back into the game.
Mhm. How long you think you want to stick as a IFB pro? You feel like you have a shelf life, or you feel like you want to keep on going till you like you keep going till you drop, or till you say, you know what, like Rocky Balboa say, like, I hear no bell ring, ding. You want to keep on going.
I want to keep going. I mean, I fought really hard for this. I've been doing this since 2004, and like I said, back then pro league wasn't a thing for me, but I feel like a newbie going into it 5 years ago. And I feel like I have that shelf life. I don't feel like I'm 50, maybe my knees might feel like it sometimes, but I feel like someone told me like, oh, once you get your pro card, you're going to stop. I'm like, absolutely not. I worked way too hard to get this. And so I want to test the waters and see how well I do amongst the IFBB Pro League and, set another goal, maybe Masters Olympia. You just never know. So, but right now it's like, let's see where we are with amongst the Open and the Masters girls and see how we fit there. And, it's a lifestyle for me now, in regards to seeing how well I can push my body at my age, and see what I can do with it. So I like challenges.
I can feel you. Like I said, I know I'm 51, but some days I feel like I'm 60. Sometimes I get up in the morning, I feel like Ozzy Osbourne, shut in, shut in, and then there's days where I can get on my game. I'm like, yeah, I can go, roll with the big boys. But that's the thing is about taking that time, being smart, understanding the process, and also having people like your coach in your corner who's helping you get to that there. You never know. Like I said, there's shows that give you that opportunity. Maybe if you don't qualify for the Olympia this year, you can always shoot for the Masters O. And as you know, the Masters O, you can, if you win that, you should go to Olympia. But you got to go through Jessica Reyes Padilla. She does about 50 shows every year.
Yeah, she's a beast, man.
Yeah, because that's your coach's one of your coach's stablemates because they're part of Voob. She's like her, Natalia. Natalia does like 18 shows a year. She's been on my channel before, even commented. I respect her as a competitor, as a person, but I'm not a big fan. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I know Sarah Viggles was there at the show. She was talking to some of the ladies. Besides Ashley and who and Linda, who else you really respect and admire as a competitor, as a bodybuilder?
Definitely Sid. Obviously, she's amazing. She's gorgeous. The glam with the figure. I'm a figure girly. Rhea has been a godsend. She's so humble and just down to earth and just realistic, and graceful. And I've really been watching Rhea from when she first started, but when she graced the Olympia stage, a couple years back, and she wasn't in the top, and I just kind of watched her rise in the ranks. I actually cried when she won. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, well deserved, because I kind of watched her grow in that arena, and I loved her body. I mean, I just loved her structure, her X frame, and how I feel like she took what the judges were telling her, and she really did what they told her to do. Tone this down, do this, do this, do this, and she just kind of like morphed. Another fan girly, Tessa. Can't remember Tessa's last name. Metz. I love her. I love her frame. I've been watching her when she turned pro. I kind of watched her. I love her muscularity. I love her look. So I kind of follow her, and she probably thinks I'm a stalker or something like that. Sometimes I'm like liking all her posts. I'm like, oh my God.
I know you feel.
Huh?
I know you feel. I'm not.
Yeah. So I see Jessica a lot at the gym, so I love her too. So like I said, I'm a figure girly. And there's some other girls that I kind of watch, but mostly I just really kind of study the figure arena more or less. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So basically, my favorite. This is from my favorite movie, Batman Begins. Lee Minison is Henry Kai, aka Ra's al Ghul, the Demon's Head, said to Bruce Wayne, "Beware surrounds all the time, young Master Wayne. Never go show footing for a killing blow." And that's the thing. We are in a division where you have to beware. Like, where's I was actually rooting for Lola Montez. I was really rooting for her. I feel like she fit the criteria.
Lola, you said Lola?
Yeah, Lola. Yeah. One person I think you've seen Cherish Richardson. She didn't compete last year.
Yes, she did, and Cherish didn't. But Cherish is. I have a picture with Cherish at the Olympia. I think I've seen it. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, so she's amazing too. Yeah, she's down there. I think me and her birthdays on the same day, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. I can't remember. But yeah. Lola's
Yeah.
body is sick. Lola's body is sick. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I know what it is that where she could it's just a debate. I actually I said a thing to her saying like, if you don't win, I'm going to not launch your lip and say, don't do that. She's nice. I mean, she's Canadian too, so in
Oh,
Jamaican,
she's
so that's
Canadian. Okay,
yeah, she's from Canada.
I didn't know
She
that.
yeah, that's hey, well, that's why I say again, beware surrounds off time, master way. You know, and
Hmm.
that's why I pay attention to this. Even though I'm starting, as again, usually my focus was women's bodybuilding, but I've been in women's physique. I've interviewed women in fitness or wellness here and there, a couple of fit model competitors. This is about
Hmm.
my challenge about giving y'all ladies the opportunity to share your stories, to hear
Yeah,
what you got you into. I reach out to ladies, say, hey, you want to do an interview? Say, no, I don't have something to say, but you never know. Because I have
you
ladies
never
tell me
know.
stories of, yeah, because you never know. Because you might, maybe somebody might watch this and say, you know what? That might inspire me to try something like this. Like right here, shot to Dorian Hamer coming through says, why not keep going if you enjoy it? What's
Yeah,
the alternative? Lose the gains, keep going. So yeah, yeah,
yeah,
appreciate that.
definitely. I definitely gonna keep going. Definitely gonna keep going. I'm doing it for my master's girls too. So we can do this. Get through perimenopause. You can still, build muscle, be in shape, get good movement, even in perimenopause. Because that don't nobody really tell you much about that. Growing up, at least about my age, they didn't. And so, beating those odds and being able to conquer that, because it is a whole nother beast in your lifestyle. Being able to conquer that has been, something that I have been told that has been inspiring to other women. So I think that's a plus.
Well, I'm a
Hmm.
man. I don't know about something like that. We
See, y'all
just
know about all that. Don't worry
no,
about
no.
it. It's tough. It's tough out there. It's tough out here.
It's tough out here be a man. We gotta work and
Wow.
feed y'all women and yeah. Y'all just get home and have babies. So
Mm-mm.
but yeah, I think especially I also like the masters has really grown in the last few years. There's amazing
Yeah,
women who
it
are 40,
has.
50 plus. I interview a lady who turned pro at 72 years old, and yeah, her name is Rebecca Woody, amazing
Okay.
lady. She turned pro a few years ago. Then she was competing for a long time. I got a friend, my friend Eunice. She runs a company, Bad Rap, and she's
Hmm.
60. And I was there hanging out at her. I'm gonna show you this picture. We were, like I said, I was hanging out because she was my friend. I wanted to help her out because he ran a booth, Bad Rap. And here she is, me and a particular legend of rock and
Oh
roll
yeah.
standing together. If you can recognize them, and
I have my glasses on.
yeah, you know, I'm with me and between me and you, this is one Mr. David Lee Roth.
Oh
You know,
wow.
yeah, the man who was the not Van Hagar, not Van Sharon, Van Halen. The lead
Yeah.
singer of
Yeah.
the group. And it was for me. I'm the country boy going to Tampa. And it's hot down there. Oh wow! I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
it's a
Humid.
different it's a different heat compared because I came on the train and I had to stop in Savannah where I went to Savannah Pro, same train station I went to Savannah Pro 3 years ago. I
Hmm.
stayed train station for 6 hours before I get train to go to Tampa, and another 6 hours train back to South Carolina. I got the train it to go back to home, and to be there and to see people like Ashley and some people like one guy I'm not a big fan of is Tim Gardner. I'm kind of like I don't, you know, and meet some of the ladies that I've done interviews with and follow social media and help a friend. And really, for me, it was a highlight for me.
Yeah.
And to talk to ladies like yourself who are passionate, who are understanding, who do the sport because not just because this is something that really brought you into a new level, but also something that gave you new purpose in your life.
It did exactly. It did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
yeah,
I think calibrated my level as far as gave me something to shoot for. You know, and not just working out and lose weight, but let me shoot for a goal. There's something that can see if I can attain. It ain't easy. You know, getting to this level. They just don't. They say they just hand them out, but some people genetically can get it, but then those that are not, we got to really really work for it. And I'm like, man, my ultimate goal was like I'm gonna get it when I turn 50. I didn't get it when I turned 50. I said, well, I'm gonna get it before I turn 51. So, you know.
yeah. Well, this is what for my favorite Japanese anime Naruto. Sometimes hard work can beat natural talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Some people can have all the genetics, but then if you don't work as hard and put that time in to train, to diet, to understand the consistency, the determination, the persistency of being a bodybuilder, it's not meant for everybody. Nobody wants to make those sacrifices. Like holidays is past, it's nice you want to sit down and have that ham and that turkey and that rice, But then you want to get that pro card. So you know what? That's not as important. That can always come later. I have a goal and I want to stick to that goal. We have here, shout out to my girl here, Dorian. She says, it's inspiring to me. I'm 52 and it's no joke. Yeah. But again, as us men, we don't have to worry about that. We don't make babies, we give them. So, and thing is, people, we go to the shows. We go to y'all compete. We see these amazing bodies, but don't understand the work you have to put in, the time you got to put in, hunger, dehydration, tired. But then you get on that stage and you bring your best look and you get a pro card. And I know what was your boy there cheering you on?
He didn't make it to. He watched it online, but he couldn't make it to the thing because he had to work. So it was on a Friday. So.
Yeah, I know he's like, yeah, that's my mom, and then some guy said, yeah, that's your mom. I'll be your pappy. Oh, hey, you're sick.
I FaceTimed him as soon as I got off the stage, got my phone out. He's the first person I FaceTimed. Let him know I made it. I did.
Well, here's the thing. Coming from a son, our mothers are our first woman we ever love. You are a best way to quote. I know it sounds like a movie from the movie Psycho. A boy's best friend is his mother, and you two have each other for a long time. He stands by you. Again, he might have a girlfriend down the road or a wife, but you know what? I tell you this: you can never replace your mother. If you lose it, because mine's been gone for like about 5 years. Again, she was my woman. I stood by her; she stood by me, and it's good that he said it by you because I know he, growing up with you and seeing what you were going through and supporting you. Again, like I said, losing friends. He was still in your corner. And that's the most important thing. You have your people like Ashley, your boy in your corner, everybody in your corner. That's most definitely what keeps a bodybuilding going because sometimes it's tough. It's a lonely sport, but it's the sport we have people that generally can support you. If it's not another competitor, it's someone in your own corner.
In your family, And he would send me, he he always brags his friends, like, look at my mom's muscles, if he's on his phone, look at my mom, make a flex for him. Like, I don't want to do that. No, just show me muscles, mom. I tell all my people at my job that my mom's a bodybuilder, like, what? So he'll tell me, like, you're my superhero, he's like, I'm so proud of you. And he's seen the whole thing. He's seen the whole thing. He's known the struggles. He's known, the ups and downs and the good and bads. And he's like, he would tell me, like, go out there and get it. He actually told me, he's like, if you win your pro card, he's like, I'm gonna do a show with you next year. And I'm like, okay.
I hope
he won. So
I hope he's a man of his word.
So I'm like, you got to hold you to your word. We already did some little posing, picked out. So, like, in about a year or so, he'll be on stage.
Yeah. And then you show his friends, hey, this is my mom on the phone. Say, that's your mom? Yeah. You might want to take my I'll be right back. I'll bring the phone later. I mean, I'm just going to the bathroom.
Yeah, no.
But again, there are guys out there that find women like you very, you again, you are a beautiful woman. And
thank
you. Even though you might have muscles, you're still a beautiful woman. That's the thing. Again, society does not think that women with muscle can be attractive, appealing. There are women like Andrea. People. If I look at people like Jessica, she's an attractive woman. I look at Ashley, she's cute. And that's the thing is that what you believe is the standard of what is considered beauty. It's not everybody's standard. And again, I gotta say this, ladies, you gotta respect who you are as a person, as an individual. Like one thing I often say like this: sponsorship, fellas. If you're interested in sponsoring these ladies, reach out with genuine interest. But guys, don't be that guy that says, hey, Shaq, so if I sponsor you, you think you can dunk on me? No, you sick freak. You sick freak. Stop that. This is what you do. This is my performance, fam. This is a performance I do. Mrs. O'Neill, we are interested in your story, your life, how you started. We are looking to sponsor athletes like yourself who have a passion. So if you feel like you're comfortable with our product or something that works in your process, and you think that you would like to be part of our company as a brand ambassador, so let us know. We are sure that we have a great future together and also see you grow as an athlete in your sport. So, man, if you feel like you're comfortable with our plan, just let us know. We're happy to help you.
See, that's professional.
Yeah, I'm good at it. Yeah, I gotta be professional here. We got here a comment to my girl here. She says, uh, "Good afternoon, Shakelle." That's my man Lawrence Perkins says George and everyone on the chat. Yeah, that's my man Lawrence Perkins. Also, he says, it's a blessing your son have a mother as inspirational hero. You and your son, your struggles will inspire to your son and people to be the best
Yeah,
version of yourselves. And that's good. Because you know
yeah,
what? It's good that he supports you, your family supports you, your friends support you, people like Ashley, all the other ladies that are in your corner. Because, like I said again, this sport can take a lot of any person. Most people wouldn't want to do what you do. Get up in the morning, go work out, train, stick to a consistent diet.
mm,
I mean, again, it can be boring, but the thing is, the reward out of that boredom.
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So, folks, we're not gonna hold this lovely lady too long. She just had a busy day. She took her time to talk to me, and I don't
Yeah,
say it may not be the '80s, but I'm down with the ladies. So, folks, we're gonna we appreciate. Yeah, I know I'm a cornball. I know that. So,
that
this
I
is the
love it.
question. Thank you. I love you too. So, this is a question I'm gonna ask you. What would you want for yourself out of this sport as a whole?
You said, what do I want for myself out of sport as a whole? I want to, like I said before, I want to be able to inspire other women, um, in general, to let them know that, especially at my age group or in my age group, that we can do what you can do, whatever you put your mind to. We don't have to let these stipulations of, oh, I'm in menopause, or, oh, I got bad knees, or I got arthritis, kind of limit you. If you really want something, go after it. Find the resources, figure out what to do. You might not have to be to my level as far as a figure competitor, or a professional competitor, bodybuilder, anything like that. But any aspect in life, that's especially when it comes to health and fitness. Push yourself, go outside your your comfort zone. You can't be comfortable if you're trying to get to the goals that you're trying to be to. You got to be uncomfortable. So if that means making those sacrifices, that's going to make you uncomfortable to get there. You make those sacrifices and set those goals. So I want to be inspiring to women to let them know that it can be done. But work has to be done to do it also. So you got to put the work in. Um, and as far as in the competitive world, I would love, and one of my goals now, like I said, I want to see how well I do in open and in masters. But ultimately, let's see. If it's God's will, then I would love to step on. And I never said this before. Oh, I want to be an Olympian, but I think that would be a nice challenge for myself to see if I can be an Olympian, whether it's regular. I mean, not regular, but it's open or masters. But being Olympian would be something I can shoot for in the future.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody, when you get to something, you have a goal, you have a purpose. You have, maybe you might say, a dream. And I know not
Yeah,
everybody can get to the Olympia. It's one of the toughest because you got to
it
go
is
through a lot of people who are better genetic,
better
who
than
put in
me.
more work. But you
Yeah,
know what? If you're determined that, and you're certain about it, then go for it.
I will.
Like the quote, the great Rocky Balboa. It's not matter how hard you can think it hits, how hard you take the hits and keep moving forward. You
Keep
got to take
making.
it and move forward because you know what? That's how winning is done. And if you're
Hmm.
determined to make that goal, make that happen, to either be at the big O or the Masters O,
Right.
that's what you want. And you know what? Don't let nobody discourage you. Don't let somebody say, "Hey, you can't do it." I might miss, I might fall a few times, but again, it's just the part about it is about keep getting up and keep moving
After
forward.
you follow you. Exactly. Exactly. Learn from my failures and keep moving forward.
Mhm. Well, folks, we're not going to hold her too much long. We do appreciate the time she gave us.
Thank you so much.
Again, this is one of my favorite quotes from my favorite movie. You never have to. From That's what the Dark Knight said. Like, you never have to. That's why I do this. I want to give a shout out to my guests out here, my man KL the Wanderer, my brother Execution 23, Dorian Hamer, Lawrence Perkins, all you were here, DJ. Do you have anybody you want to shout out while you're here?
Let's see. Well, shout out to my son. Shout out to Team Refined Fitness. That's my team, and my coach Ashley. And that's really my girls, Chanel, my besties, Chanel and Aaron. If they're watching, they were one of my support, my really close knit support team. But yeah, that's it.
Well, that's good. You shout out to your boy. I mean, it's good. They stand by his mama, his woman. You know, and it's good that you have people like Ashley in your corner, all the other people in your corner. That's most important to have those people stand by you because that's the thing about people out there. Some people let them hate till they can't hate no more. To quote the man Sicky Johnson, and do what
Right.
you do. Keep making what you want as a sport your goal. It be Olympia or just being stepping on stage as a pro. Make it for yourself. Don't worry about everybody else got to say because that's the thing is everybody has opinion and opinions like assholes. Everybody has one, but sometimes they stink. So, so folks, I appreciate the lovely Shakelle O'Neal, aka
Thank
the
you.
Shack, coming through. Folks, you want to
Shaq.
follow her? Her links in the description of this live. You want to check her out. If you also, she's also a coach. If you want to work with her, you do online coaching too.
Not right now. No, not right now. I might start that next year. I mean, this year later on, which we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to put too much on my plate just yet. So
Well, take your time.
right
Like I
now,
say,
we
it's
just
no rush.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Never say no, but with probably in time, I will get back to doing it.
Well, I hope you do. Well, folks, if you're interested in follow her, links description is live. No weird stuff. She has a son. I don't want that boy be in the street fighting over his mama, saying, like, hey, what you say that shit to my mama for, man.
It's
But
so
and
crazy.
also, yeah, and also people be genuinely interested in reach out to ladies like her and support their path as bodybuilders. I say this
Appreciate
as
it.
often. You get more with a silk glove than getting with iron fist. I know what y'all doing with that iron fist. So thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much for having me. Love it.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you. Anyways, man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Good night. Good luck. God bless. And see you around next time.
Peace out.
Peace.